Hey hookies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be learning how to do a single crochet stitch and how to make this little coaster here. It's a little big because I like really big mugs and I love Winnie the Pooh, as you can see here. And so we're going to be going over that. I'll show also how to do the edging or border around that coaster. So it's a simple square shaped coaster. I have this one, which is one of my first squares or coasters that I attempted to make with a single crochet stitch, and I just wanted to show you how you can improve, just to practice. And this is a good practice tool video to do when you're first starting off. Really learning how to do that single crochet stitch can just help you because you're going to be practicing it over and over, and that's how you're going to make a lot of different projects. Learning how to do that is the first step into learning how to do other stitches, and it really comes out nice. I really still like the way the single crochet looks. Right now I'm showing the different size hooks I'm using. I'm going to be using a 4.5 millimeter on I believe to do this coaster, which is the purple one, and then a 5.5 to do the edging to make it look a little more ruffly. So I'm using, I believe this is a size 4 yarn. It's in gray here. I'm going to be going in here showing how I make the loop here. So we're looping around our finger, make that little fish shape, and we pull through. This is the slip stitch, or not slip stitch, slip knot, sorry. Slip knot, this is not a stitch, to put our hook through. So then we're just going to tighten that on there. There we go. Again, you don't have to put it on too tight. Once it's on there, you're good to go. And then I'm going to show you again how to wrap the yarn around your other hand, or your free hand that you're not using your hook. So I wrap it around my palm once, in between my pointer and my middle finger. Bring it around, and then sometimes I loop it around my pointer if I need it to be a little more tight, more tension. Usually not though, so you'll see when I grab it again. Just clarifying, I showed this in my previous video, but just in case it was confusing. So now we're just going to do those chains. I think we showed this in our previous video, how to chain. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making 16 of these. So just yarning over, pulling through the hoop to make 16 chains. I think I'm just counting to make sure I have 6. See where I was. Pulling over, pulling through, pulling over, pulling through that loop. Continue to do that until you have 16 chains. And this is where you can change the size of your coaster or whatever project you're making. This is where you can adjust it. So I believe I did a little bit more on the finished coaster that you see there, just because I had a big mug. But I believe the 16 chains is a good size because then it'll be 15 stitches across, and then we're going to do 15 rows up to make that square. So we're going to be going into the second V shape in our chain. So not the loop on the hook, it doesn't count. So it's that first V, and then there's a second V we're going to be going into. So the second V, we're going to go just in the top portion, push our hook through, we're going to yarn over. Right, so grab that, make contact with the hook, pull it through, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook. And then we're going to go and yarn over again, make contact with our hook, and pull through those 2 loops. Ta-da! That is how you do a single crochet stitch. So we'll continue to show you that again. And you're just going to do that all along the rest of the chain. So you grab your hook, and we're going to put it through that next chain. Do the same thing again, yarn over, underneath that yarn, just showing you you're going underneath that yarn, making contact. So if you need to turn your hook a little bit, you can do that. Get those 2 loops on your hook, and do it again, and you're going to pull through both loops. So we're just inserting into the next chain, yarning over, grabbing that yarn, pulling it through 2 loops, and then yarning over again and pulling through both loops. So I'll just go ahead and show you that a few more times here. Insert yarn over, pull through, and then pull through both those loops. Showing you it here. There we go. So just continue to do that. You should end up with 15 stitches at the end. So you can always go back and count just to make sure. And again, this, like I said, this is really good practice to do. When you're first starting off, just make basic squares, little coasters. I like coasters. Actually, I used to think I'd get sick of making them, but I actually need some, and now that it's going to be turning into fall and winter soon, hopefully it cools down, and I like bringing my coasters out. But actually, you can use coasters all year round, really. They're really great to have, and they actually make really great gifts. People really like those. And once you learn how to do them, they're really fun. Actually, even when you're still practicing. I know I gave some to my mom and she still likes hers. Parents still like those kinds of gifts, and grandparents aren't looking for perfection from you. Alright, so we have those 15 chains, and so now we're going to turn our work over, and we're going to, I'm going to show you this stitch marker here. So this is useful. I don't really need to use it personally on these small projects. I find it more useful when I'm doing circular ones, but again, if you need to use it to help you in the beginning, by all means. We just put it in that first stitch. But before we start, we turned our work over and we chained 1, and then we're going to work into that first stitch where I put that chain marker that looks like a paper clip, and we're just going to do that same thing with those single crochet stitches, tongue twister, all the way along the stitches. So we're just making another row now. So this is called another row of stitches. So inserting now, not in through the stitch, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, insert our hook, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those both loops. Going a little quick here so you can see, but that's all we're doing. We're just making those single crochet stitches along here, and I'm gonna continue doing that until we get those 15 rows. So it'll be 15 stitches across and 15 rows vertically or up and down. So you can see there. I really like the look of single crochets. Like I said, even now, there's something about them. It looks real clean and neat. I like it, even though it's simple. So turn our work over again. You can take that little marker out if you want, or keep using it. Whatever is comfortable to you. Just practice, see what you like, what helps you out. You might find that you never need it. You might find you need to use it on everything, or like me, I find it real useful when I'm working rounds, which hopefully will show in the future. So chain 1, that's going to help keep our edges straight, and then we go into the next stitch and start our single crochets across. So we start our new row. So that chain 1, it helps keep just a nice edge, a nice shape to your square. I know that is important to keep doing. And when I first started, that's kind of how you see that. One of my first squares or crochet coasters I made, it kind of isn't a perfect shape. I think I probably missed doing those chain ones when I was turning my work. So it is important to do. So again, I'm just showing you this. You can keep watching. Sticking my hook through those stitches right there. Going a little quick here, yarning over, pulling through those little loops, 2 loops on the hook, and that's your single crochet stitch. So we have our 3 rows here, and we'll just keep continuing until we get a few more rows on here. And I'm just going to continue to show you those. I have my measuring tape here, which can help you if you're looking for a specific, dimensions, measurements of a project. That's when it comes in handy. So this measures about 4.5 inches. So depending how big you want, I think it's a good size. I think it's going to be a good size coaster for most mugs, even little bigger mugs. So keep watching. Alright, so we're back. You can see we've done a little bit more. Yeah, we left off, we had only 3 rows. So we're going to continue until we get 15 rows here. You can see, you could start seeing the pattern developing, and it is a little bit smaller than the one I was showing you in the beginning. So I'm turning my work, chaining 1, and we're going to start again, inserting our hook through our stitch, yarn over, make contact, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, and pull through those 2 loops. Again, this is just repeating our work, but again, this is practice, practice, practice. Helps. Don't give up if it's challenging to you at first, or you don't feel like things are as tight or as straight as you want them. With practice, you'll know how much tension you want with your yarn and how tight you want to pull and all that stuff. You do learn as you go along. I feel like crochet is one of those things. Some people maybe have a born talent, but most of the time I think you can just keep practicing and you find your way. You find what's comfortable to you. Insert that hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And there you go. Look at you guys. We are doing that single crochet stitch. It's so nice to learn new things, and fun too. And this is just the beginning. I get to learn so much more. I'm still learning too all the time. Insert that hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Turn our work over. You're going to chain 1 again, and then just keep going. Little tangled. So I'm going to continue this all the way across, just like previous rows. In the beginning, I found that keeping track of the rows helped me, either writing it on a piece of paper or using objects of some sort just to kind of keep track of my rows was helpful to me. So this is, I can show you that this coaster is a lot smaller than the one I showed you in the beginning, comparing you. But it will be a little bit bigger because we're going to make that edging or border around, which I think is really cute and fun. So we're going to go ahead and cut our end here. Showing you just the texture. And we're going to weave in. You can weave in using your hook or a needle. You can sew it. You just go in and out, hide the end of your work, and that's how you hide your beginning tail, so to speak. I'm just going to use my hook. I just grab it. I'm kind of just twisting it around. I'm going through a stitch, pulling it through. You see, I'm just kind of winding it back and forth through the stitches until you don't see it anymore. And you might want a more precise look if you weren't doing a border, but since we're doing a border, it's going to cover it anyway, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do for that. Alrighty, so this is what we're going to start with now, is the border, and I switched the 5mm hook. We're going to immediately chain 3, and then we're going to insert into that first chain and make a single crochet stitch. So that is our pattern. So now we're going to skip the next stitch and then work in the one over. So technically the second stitch on the next side. And we're going to make a single crochet stitch there, and then immediately again chain 3 and insert again into that first chain and make another single crochet, and that's what's going to make that cute little ruffle pattern there. Again, into that, skip one stitch, work into the next, chain 3, insert into that first chain there, and make a single crochet stitch. Skip one stitch, insert into the next. All right, I'm just trying to just skipping that little stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then immediately do 3 chains. Insert into that first chain and single crochet. Skip a stitch, make that single crochet stitch, chain 3, insert into the first chain, skip a stitch, and you're just going to repeat. And that is what makes that little ruffle look here. I really like this look. It really adds. You can do these to blankets. I've done something similar when I've made little dresses for little animal dolls. I've done. It just adds a little flair to the clothes. Thing for me, sometimes I get crazy if things aren't precise, so I like the ruffle. So even if you don't end right at the stitch you should have, like when you're rounding the corners, it's okay, because the ruffle kind of hides any little mistake maybe you made. Maybe you didn't skip the right stitch, but it's okay. I think it still comes out pretty good. And that's all we're doing all the way around, inserting our hook, single crochet, and chaining. So all this coaster was made with was single crochet and chains. So once you learn how to do that, it's just different combinations of what you're doing, and that's why really crochet is, say, just an endless hobby and fun and always learning, because you can experiment with different stitches and get different looks, and so then you can start creating patterns, and it's just really fun. So this one, I didn't follow any specific pattern. I kind of just winged it and made it myself. So again, I didn't come up with single crochet stitch. That was something I had to learn. But once you learn the basics, you really can make anything your own. It's really fun to see everyone's creations, because everyone has a different talent. Even with crochet, I've seen different styles of crochet too. There's room for everyone. Alright, it's coming up pretty quickly. This is a pretty quick gift. I feel like you can make a little set of these for, I said, friends and family. Got any anniversaries coming up, anything like that, or just cause. Sometimes I like to do just cause gifts. People get so happy and you give them something. So we're just continuing along here, doing the same thing. So the pattern is we're skipping a stitch, we single crochet into the next stitch, and then we immediately chain 3, and then we take our hook and insert it into that first chain and make a single crochet stitch in that first chain. So that is the pattern or repeat that we're doing all the way around to create our border. Now we are on our last row or side, I guess we can call it. Pushing it through here. Remember, if you mess up, it's really easy, or you don't like how something came out, it's really easy just to pull back a few stitches, pull back on your yarn, and you don't have to unravel the whole thing. You can just go back to where you messed up or you don't like it and you want to try it again. And that's also why I like crochet too, because there's been times I even went far along but I just didn't like it and I wanted to restart, and it can get frustrating, but I like that you're not wasting yarn, you're not wasting your supplies. You can just start over, and that's what's fun. You can just keep practicing, especially if you're in a practice mode. Sometimes I'm just wanting to try out different stitches, and you don't have to, oh, I practiced and wasted this yarn. You can just pull on it and start again. Get into the last one. So I'm just going to do a slip knot there, or not a slip stitch. So instead of making a single crochet, I just pulled it through one of the loops, and then you pull through all the way, and that will stay. And then you're just going to have to weave in that tail like I showed you previously. But that is our coaster. I think it looks so cute. I love it. Gray, I feel, goes with everything. It looks really cute with my Winnie the Pooh mug, I must say. And again, right, I did make a smaller version than the one that is shown previously. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you like videos like these and you want to see more tutorials as I create different things. Again, that tail, you're just going to weave it in like I showed you previously. Go in and out of your work either with the needle or with your crochet hook, which is my preferred method.